Yeah, so Derek Wood, we are kitchen tune-up in Zeeland, Michigan. We're along the lake shore. We cover the entirety of the West Michigan lake shore, and obviously remodel kitchens. We do get into bathrooms as well, but remodel kitchens. I purchased my franchise from the owner of it that owned it for 32 years, just about 2 years ago. And in my experience with marketing companies that I've engaged with, there's been a lot of pomp and circumstance, but no deliverables. That, it's just been a really rough time. I've spent a lot of money, wasted a lot of time, and it's just been very frustrating trying to dial in our leads. Over the last 2 years. So I've kind of narrowed it down, and we're being a little more intentional and specific now. So
yeah, so it's kind of like your work with several companies over the last period of 2 years, and they really didn't deliver like any results.
Very little. I've done PPC, I've done ad, I've done radio, I've done, you just name it, you can name it, I've done it. And it has been a lot of money. We've had activity. That's not been the issue. It's been not getting to qualified leads. And that's been our biggest crux, is like, yeah, I understand that not everybody's going to be a buyer, but if you use the marketing funnel, there's been more of the top of the funnel people versus, the bottom of the funnel. So we need them down there more in the mid to the bottom, so that they're more apt to, want to buy and ready to buy. So.
Yeah. The majority of the leads were really just like shopping a bit around. They weren't really that high intent. Got it. Okay. And then we started working together like for a month. So yeah, what is kind of so far?
Yeah, so working with you guys has been actually a breath of fresh air and a really great experience. Since we started with you, I felt that you and your team are very professional. I love the dashboard. The responsiveness is great, and it's more of a partnership rather than just I'm selling you a product and then let's see what happens. So I like that, because we're dialing in kind of what we need and what's working and what's not. And I realize marketing can be an elusive unicorn. And so you constantly are having to look at it and tweak it. And I feel that you and your team have been very super responsive and ahead of things when you're on top of it. I guess let's put it that way. You don't see results, you're like tweaking it already, and you're not waiting for the client or me to say something to you. You literally are like, okay, let's get this fixed, and this isn't working. So that's what I appreciate about it. And thus far we've closed just shy of 60 grand in business, and I've got another 35 coming. We got another 5 appointments, probably about 2 that possibly maybe some closes in there. So it's been a really good mix of a good quality leads. And obviously we won't close every one of them, but it to me, starting out for the last month has been wonderful.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I definitely also think we're on track to kind of like hit our goals and the benchmark that we kind of set for like keeping things under like 10% marketing cost. It's like we're already there with under 10% marketing cost, and it's kind of been like even in a period where in the beginning we're kind of testing. So that's great. And then it's also with that feeling that I think you had like another 35K that were kind of just about to close, that you had a good feeling about, which would just be an add-on that could maybe even bring the marketing cost down to 7%. And then also on top of that, there's still like 5 appointments to be taken. So yeah, overall it seems like we're definitely on the right track. Now we try like a lot of different like companies. Why do you think that this has just like worked better? Like what specifically would you pinpoint?
Well, first of all, it's taken a big time suck off of our plate. What you and your company does is some of the heavy lifting. That's the major time consuming things. And I think based on your process, it's striking when the iron's hot, when people are actually looking for the information. They've taken the time to fill out a form or inquire about something. So when that happens in our system, in our natural system, as it aggregates through, it could be 2 to 3 days before we get the contact, and then we reach out. So in this case, if with your criteria, by contacting the client quicker to the form fill, you're catching them in the moment when they're wanting this information or wanting, they're thinking about it. And I think that is a huge key in, again, striking while the iron's hot. There's no better way to put it. You're just literally like responding to them in the moment, rather than when they're at the grocery store or at their kid's ball game or at someplace when they can't take a call from somebody. So that's, how many times have any of us gotten those calls, those random calls, and it's inconvenient. So
yeah, exactly. That's why
that's been one of the best things for us, because you're doing the heavy lifting and finding us the qualified leads. So they are, we may not close every single one, but they are more of that mid to bottom of the funnel ready to go than a lot of the ones we just get otherwise.
Yeah. Got it. All right. Well, appreciate it.